Hi, my name is Levan Setio. I am from 12 Science 4, and in this video I am going to explain about how solar eclipse can be happen. Yep, a solar eclipse is a type of eclipse that occurs when the moon passes between the sun and earth, and the moon fully or partially blocks the sun. And so if this is the sun and this is the earth, the moon is standing right here blocking the sunlight to the earth. This can happen only at a new moon, when the sun and the moon are in conjunction. As seen from Earth is an alignment referred to as syzygy. In a total eclipse, the disk of the sun is fully obscured by the moon. But in partial or annular eclipse, only part of the sun is obscured. However, the total eclipses are rare at any particular location because it totally exists along the narrow path on Earth's surface traced by moon shadow or umbra. When the moon does eclipse the sun, it casts two types of shadow. The smaller darker shadow known as umbra and the larger shadow known as penumbra. If the moon were in a perfectly circular orbit, a little closer to the Earth and in the same orbital plane, there would be a total eclipse every month. However, the moon's orbit is inclined at more than 5 degrees to the Earth's orbit around the sun, so its shadows at new moon usually misses Earth. Earth's orbit is called the elliptic plane, as the moon's orbit must cross this plane in order for an eclipse both of solar as well as lunar to occur. In addition, the moon's actual orbit is elliptical, often taking it far enough away from Earth and its apparent size is not large enough to block the sun totally. The orbital planes cross each other at the line of nodes, resulting at least 2 and up to 5 solar eclipses occurring each year, but no more than 2 of which can be a total eclipse. Beside of how solar eclipse can be happen, a solar eclipse is a natural phenomenon which is nevertheless, in some ancient and modern cultures, solar eclipses have been attributed to supernatural causes or regarded as bad omens. A solar eclipse can be frightening. Yes, it can be frightening to people who are unaware of its astronomical explanation, as the sun seems to be disappear during the day and the sky darkens in a matter of minutes. Since looking directly at the sun can lead to permanent eye damage or blindness, special eye protection or indirect viewing techniques are used when viewing a solar eclipse. Technically, it is safe to view only the total phase of the total solar eclipse with the unaided eye and without protection. But however, this is a dangerous practice as the most people are not trained to recognize the phase of an eclipse, which can span over 2 hours, and while the total eclipse can only last a maximum of 7.5 minutes for any one occasion. People referred to as eclipse chaser of Ambrophiles will travel to remote location to observe or witness predicted central solar eclipse. I think that is all from me for this video, for this explanation about solar eclipse. My name is Levan Setio and see ya.